So Keir Starmer bowed to the inevitable today and tried to settle the row over the Labour veteran Diane Abbott. Speaking on a campaign visit to Scotland, the Labour leader gave the green light for her to defend her Hackney seat. After days of refusing to make a judgment, he praised Miss Abbott as a trailblazer and said she is free to stand as a Labour candidate. Rishi Sunak poured scorn on the development, saying it shows Sir Keir constantly changes his mind.
Keir Starmer had arrived in Scotland under pressure from his deputy, Angela Rayner, to let Diane Abbott stand as a Labour candidate. And shortly after lunch, he agreed that she could.
She's free to go forward as a Labour candidate. The whip is back with her. It's been restored. And of course, you know, she was a trailblazer for many, many years and has cleared the path for others to come into politics.
So what changed? Well, this morning, the Scottish Labour leader also weighed in on Abbott's side.
Diane is someone with a proud history in our party, a trailblazer, and I think that's important to remember.
You agree with Angela Rayner that Diane Abbott should be allowed to stand?
I've already said I agree with Angela Rayner. I think she made...
That Diane Abbott should be allowed to stand?
I've already said I agree with Angela Rayner. She's made some really strong points, but ultimately, this is a decision for the NEC.
All this had left Starmer looking out of step with senior members of his own party.
Angela Rayner, down here on the front row, says that Diane Abbott should be allowed to stand if she wants to. And Anas Sarwar, standing beside you, says he agrees with Angela Rayner. Do you agree with them, or are you sticking to the line that no decision has been taken?
Well, no decision has been taken, so that's the factual position. No decision to bar Diane. Obviously, she's got the whip back.
Diane Abbott says she's making no further comment before she's officially endorsed as the candidate next week, although she has previously said she will stand.
I will be the candidate for Hackney North.
Her supporters say Labour's national executive was always going to follow Keir Starmer's lead.
This has always been a charade and some technicalities and process and lawyer talk where Keir Starmer has hid behind all of these, but it's always been him who has the power of a majority on the NEC.
Keir Starmer may finally have put the Diane Abbott question to rest, but now the Conservatives say that's because Angela Rayner is pushing him around. Carl Dinnan, News at 10, Renfrewshire.
And Robert is here to discuss this. Robert, a first full week of first full election week, when it might be said that policies have been overshadowed somewhat by a wrangle. How frustrating has this been by all sides all round?
Well, you know, there's been a lot of cock-ups for the Tories and for Labour. Just concentrating on Labour for a moment, you know, we saw Keir Starmer capitulate to pressure not to stand in the way of Diane Abbott running as a candidate. It is embarrassing for him. He didn't want to intervene. I mean, it was an open secret. He'd rather she wouldn't stand. But I think as much as anything, he also didn't want to be seen to be adjudicating, partly because, you know, it's less than 4 years ago that the Equality and Human Rights Commission criticised Labour for not being impartial enough when it came to rooting out anti-Semitism. So he's tried to keep his distance. He couldn't
because too many senior people in the party, led in particular by his deputy, wanted to give Diane Abbott the kind of respect they say she deserved, give her the choice to stand. And that meant, of course, that he looked weakened. Now, tonight, I have to say, I don't think it's a coincidence, given that many are saying he's capitulated to the left, that he's given an interview in The Times in which he says he wants to govern if he wins from the centre. He's intensely relaxed about people making money. In fact, he wants people to make money. This is so redolent of the kind of rhetoric we heard from Tony Blair in the run-up to the 1997 election. And I have to say, it looks fairly transparently attempt to say, no, I am not a hostage of my left wing. Now, some may therefore say, oh, Labour's in a bit of a pickle. I have to say, all the polls, including one tonight, put them so far ahead of the Tories that I don't think Keir Starmer's going to be having many sleepless nights over the last few days of, as I say, some cock-ups.
Yeah, let's see how this develops next week. Robert, thank you.